Jade Green, Luciferin Light, and When Blood Looks Right. It's the Power of God's Love Podcast, episode 1007. Hey there, Tony here, and I hope your past week was better than a day at the beach with white sand and jade green ocean. And speaking of jade green, page 1. Jade green was not on the scene. Yeah, that color has always been stored in my mind ever since I was a little boy because my grandmother had a beautiful jade plant in her house, and for some reason it just captivated me as a little boy. Every time I see a jade green stone, I think of that plant. I remember you could squish it with your fingers and get all this, liquid out. But I also have a jade green memory from just a few years ago, as a matter of fact. And that memory was captured in some pictures at Pensacola Beach in Florida. Yeah, there's a whole section of the Florida Panhandle known as the Emerald Coast. So it's not rare to be able to photograph jade green water. I think most people prefer to get pictures of the blue or the aquamarine colors, but the greens of all kinds, they're just beautiful. I took some pictures below one of the piers that stand right there on Pensacola Beach, and when I got home where I could see the pictures better, man, it was cool. I found some really cool emerald water shots, and I added a short poem to one to create a card of sorts that I gave to Elgeline, my beautiful wife. Other people enjoyed the picture too, and here's the poem. No mirrors, no smoke, just an emerald cascade reflecting the moments which too quickly fade. Dive into the memories soon after they're made while gazing at pictures of liquefied jade. I thought I remembered jade being mentioned in a place or two in the Bible too, but in the version I use, it's actually not there. Some people say that it's mentioned in Exodus 20, verses 17 through 21. But my Bible says this, and you shall put settings of stones in it, 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald. This shall be the first row. The second row shall be a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. The third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. Now think about it for a second because that passage is talking about designing a breastplate for armor. Whoa! Can you imagine going into battle with all those stones sparkling in your enemy's eyes? It sounds dazzling. But I don't see jade. An emerald is in there, but that's not the same thing. Do you see jade in your version of the Bible? Because I didn't see it in mine. Anyway, this isn't the most important thing you're going to deal with all day, of course, or all week. It's just something that popped into my head, and I hope it entertains you and inspires you to find beauty and wonder in all the small things around you. Page 2. Luciferin light by the beach at night is quite a sight. Yeah, speaking of small things, finding beauty in them and all that kind of stuff. Luciferin light. Have you ever seen the luciferin light on the ocean? It's not really a small thing. It's actually an amazing thing. And it happens when oxidization produces compounds. I bet you've been waiting all week long to find out about that, right? Well, I'm glad I could help. You're welcome. See you next time. Wait. I almost forgot. I want to say a couple more things about luciferin light, okay? The image in the glasses at the top of the page where I wrote about this is a photograph that shows bioluminescence rippling in small ocean waves. It's also known as luciferin light or luciferin emissions. And if you're a Christian, that might ring some sort of bell in your memory banks. Yeah, you might recall there's a certain character in the Bible who transforms himself into an angel of light. And of course, he's known by several names, but one very familiar name is Lucifer. And I think it's kind of strangely ironic that a chemical process that produces such beautiful lit up colors here on Earth ends up with such a devilish name. Yeah, but maybe that's just me. It's not something I want to fight about. It's certainly not in this world where just about everybody fights about just about everything. Once I saw the photograph and how beautiful that blue light in the ocean water is, it inspired me to write a short rhyme to describe the picture. Plus, it's another opportunity and one of millions of reasons to love and appreciate God's amazingly beautiful designing power. Here's a rhyming tribute to Luciferin light. Bioluminescence, like diamonds in dreams. The light is delightful, but not as it seems. Where oxidization produces compounds, aqualight in the night that truly astounds. Luciferin emissions sounds wicked, and yet they're what occur as we view this vignette. Labyrinth liquid, one of many designs, establishes essence of brilliant blue lines and creates conundrums for science to solve, but one thing's for sure, it could never evolve. Page 3. Lab work shows what a wise man knows. When you see a primary care provider or some other kind of doctor, whenever you go and see them and they order lab work, it usually means you're going to give some blood, right? Isn't that a warm and fuzzy description of what's going to happen? Yeah, no. There's not much warm and fuzzy going on in those places anymore. And just so you know, here's some of what they look at in your lab work. Your BUN, your creatinine, your E, capital GFR, your BUN/creatinine ratio, sodium, potassium, chloride, carbon dioxide, calcium, protein, albumin, globulin, bilirubin, alkaline phosphatase, your AST, and your ALT. Don't ask me what those are, but that's what they look for, okay? And they don't just look to be sure you have those things in your blood. They want to see how much or how little you have of each of those things. Because if your numbers don't fall within certain guidelines, you could have problems that require a little more attention, okay? I've experienced quite a bit of lab work over the past year, and I've seen those kinds of numbers being scrutinized by, quote, experts, unquote. And I put quotation marks around the word experts for a reason, because I firmly believe the complexity found in a single drop of blood can only be fully understood by the one and only expert. And I put a capital E on that expert, by the way. And of course, that would be the expert who invented blood, by the way. I used the word invented loosely because he created blood. Yours, mine, and the blood of every other living creature, for that matter. But there's something in the blood of humans that's far more important than anything else on that bulleted list I shared above. A little something called life. You've heard of it, 4-letter word, L-I-F-E. And that's the life that's contained in the information in your DNA. And it's the life that comes directly from your creator. A wise man or woman knows that's true. And only a fool would say otherwise. A few years ago, I saw a picture of a man-made heart that was very interesting. I seem to remember that the person who shared it was marveling at the idea that we humans could come up with such a design. And that inspired me to write a rhyme, as often things like that happen to me. And the rhyme would be aimed at kids to show them how the design of a real heart is infinitely more marvelous. Here's that rhyme. It's called Middle of a Heartbeat. In the middle of a heartbeat, something small stirs, like the sound that a kitten makes with pulsing purrs. Your blood goes whooshing through your veins from head to toe, and you might just kind of wonder what makes it go. It's the code down deep inside you. It's yours alone, a gift from the eternal King on his white throne. So hold your breath, be very still, and then you'll hear, in the middle of a heartbeat, a love so dear. That love coming from the giver of life, the one who is the life and the way and the truth. And no man comes to the Father, God, except through him, Jesus. And it's because of Jesus that we can enjoy the power of God's love. And I encourage you, after you go to TonyFunderburk.com to sign up for the Truth Journal, I encourage you then to look for every opportunity you can to share the power of God's love.